Alright, the last couple ones on your checklist after the toothbrush and the sponge is the plastic wrap and the salt technique. Now these are a little bit tricky. You might have to try these a couple times just to play around with them and see what works best. You want kind of a darker color, and this one shows you what the salt looks like. You can see what happens is once you put the salt down while that's wet, it just kind of sucks up the color from it. The plastic wrap, what we're going to do is put this on in. It gives this kind of jaggedy edge, but you got to have the color just right. So I'm going to do, let's do the plastic wrap first. So I'm going to get a little bit of red, and it needs to be kind of a darker color. You don't want it too transparent or it's hard to see. Alright, then you will take a crinkled up piece of plastic wrap, and this is in the drawer over there. You don't want to wad it up really, really tight, but you want it kind of like this, and then you just place that on there and you leave it on there. Okay, you don't need to push it down all the way, but if you can see through here, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, when you push down, it pushes the moisture, the color out in different areas, so it just leaves this weird texture on there. So we'd have to leave that on 5 to 10 minutes, and when we pulled it up, it would give you an effect like this. Now we're going to do something the same with the salt, so let's get a different color here. Let's go green on this one. You can do a couple different colors, so we'll put a little bit of green down. And I don't know if this works better with maybe wet on wet. You can try a couple different things, but I know it works better with a darker color because you want to be able to see how it pulls this lightness out. I may probably, let's use the flat brush so we can get a lot more color. And if you have regular paper towels at your home that you want to bring in, those do work a lot better, I am going to tell you, as far as cleaning things up. Alright, so we're going to put down a thick layer here of the purple. And if I had some ink, I would use the ink instead of, let's go over here a little bit. Alright, then in that drawer again, you're going to see a big thing of iodine or iodized salt. Or there may be a salt shaker in there. I'll try to get a salt shaker. Just a little bit. You do not need very much. Pour it out in your hand a little bit and then kind of sprinkle it over the top. This works kind of good for a, I put way too much right there, snow effect or a rainy effect, because it kind of looks like raindrops in here. And as you can see, it's starting to kind of pull up that color a little bit. This takes 4 or 5 minutes, and then you brush that salt off. You don't leave the salt on there. So this one's all dried up, so I can just take the salt up, and then you can see the little designs that it made. Okay, so you were going to do each technique, and then again, make sure that you are labeling each technique as you go, and make sure that you are doing on your note sheet. Sorry, mine have splatter paint all over them. Okay, so you should be taking notes on here, telling what each one is and how to do it. All right, if I'm going to show you here real quick since we got a little bit of extra time. This frisket. And kind of pull it up with your finger. There, it's starting to come up a little bit. I also have what's called a rubber cement picker upper, and this will stick a little bit to the paper. That's the bad thing about using it. But you can see the white of the paper underneath this. This one's still kind of wet, but if I pulled this up, you would see the green underneath. Okay. All right. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Don't just go right off of this video and think you can't ask me questions. Please make sure to ask me some questions on how to do things, and then I'll explain to you what to do with your next project once you get this one done.